Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. Bang from another headlines as usual. President meets newly accredited ambassadors. Prime Minister attends funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. And later on, Huang Sufi tourist field Heritage Ways returns. President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc on September 19th met the ambassadors of some countries who came to present their credential letters. During his meeting with Ambassador of the Netherlands, Kees van Baar, President Phúc spoke highly of activities to promote investment cooperation between two countries. He said he hoped that in the future, the two sides will increase the exchange of delegations at all levels and coordinate in carrying out activities to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between two countries. He said the two sides should work together to increase two-way trade to $30 billion during the ambassador's term. The ambassador said that water management and response to climate change are among areas that the two countries should give priorities to. He also said Vietnam and the Netherlands should boost trade and investment cooperation and facilitate Dutch businesses' investments in Vietnam. President Phúc said Vietnam always cherishes the precious traditional relationship and manifested cooperation for more than 70 years with Hungary during his meeting with Hungarian ambassador to Vietnam, Bangladesh Tibor. Ambassador Bangladesh Tibor said he wishes to promote high-level visits and people-to-people exchanges between Vietnam and Hungary, including completing a film about the friendship between the Vietnamese and Hungarian people and promoting trade and investment cooperation activities. Meeting Australian Ambassador Andrei John Lee Golesnewski, President Phúc congratulated Australia on successfully holding the Federal Assembly elections and having a new government headed by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. He thanked Australia for being the second largest supplier of COVID-19 vaccines to Vietnam. The ambassador expressed his pleasure at the fine relations between two countries. He said Australia wishes to upgrade the relationship between Vietnam and Australia to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Meeting the ambassador of Luxembourg, Patrick Hammer, President Phúc emphasized that Vietnam always gives priority to strengthening its cooperation with Luxembourg. He lauded Luxembourg for actively supporting the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement and ratifying the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement to facilitate trade and investment between two countries. Ambassador Patrick Hammer said Luxembourg will move to promote bilateral investment and turnover in the coming time, especially in boosting cooperation in green economy. He said that Luxembourg thanked Vietnam for supporting its candidacy for the 2022 to 2024 UN Human Rights Council and said it will support Vietnam at multilateral forums. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính held phone talks with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang on September 19th. During the talks, two prime ministers discussed measures to boost cooperation between Vietnam and China in the future. They agreed to strengthen high-level meetings and promote people-to-people exchanges. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính stressed that the two sides stabilize and balance bilateral trade. He also proposed that China facilitate customs clearance and speed up the opening of its market for Vietnamese agricultural products. Prime Minister Li Keqiang said the two sides strengthen strategic connectivity, promote ties in the economy, trade and investment, especially in the fields of manufacturing and agriculture, and boost cooperation in maintaining supply chains. Regarding border and territorial issues, the two sides agreed to continue maintaining effective communication channels on land and sea borders, properly handle differences, and maintain peace and stability. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on September 19th chaired a teleconference with the heads of Vietnam representative agencies abroad on fostering economic diplomacy. Prime Minister Chin said economic diplomacy of the recent past has stayed consistent with national development targets and major socio-economic orientations of the government, serving as the driving force for sustainable development. He called on relevant agencies to put more efforts amid global uncertainties and future challenges for a self-reliant economy of international integration. At the event, leaders of ministries, ambassadors, heads of Vietnamese representative offices abroad discussed opportunities that Vietnam should seize in exports, investment, tourism, and science technology, among others. They put forward measures to promptly bolster economic diplomacy activities at home and abroad, as well as recommendations on policies and resources in order to improve efficiency. Foreign Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn, under the delegation of President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, attended the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II in London on September 19. Britain and the world said a final goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II at a state funeral on September 19th that drew presidents and kings, princes and prime ministers and crowds who massed along the streets of London to honor a monarch whose 70-year reign defied an age. Queen Elizabeth II passed away on September 8th at the age of 96. Vietnamese leaders on September 9th offered condolences to the royal family, government, parliament, and people of the UK over the death of Queen Elizabeth II. In the messages, the leaders of Vietnam offered deep condolences to the royal family, government, parliament, and people of the UK, expressing their acknowledgement of the Queen's sentiments towards and precious support for the two countries' cooperation. The Vietnamese embassy in Belgium has collaborated with the Workers' Party Belgium to hold activities in honor of late President Ho Chi Minh at the party's recent Manifesta Solidarity Festival in Ostend. A highlight of the series was the launch of a book featuring 48 articles by President Ho Chi Minh, which was collated and compiled by Indian historian Vijay Prasad. The book has so far been published in English, French, and Dutch. A seminar on the president's life and career also took place, during which Phan Ngọc Lân, a Vietnamese expert in Belgium, told anecdotes about the Vietnamese hero of national liberation and great man of culture.
I want to disseminate the great value of Ho Chi Minh's morality, culture, and ideology to peace-loving international friends. As a participant in compiling the book in French, I feel proud and was moved by its content.
The event saw the attendance of representatives of the embassies of Laos, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua in Belgium and the EU, as well as a number of workers' parties in Europe. During a two-day course of the festival on September 17 and 18th, the Vietnamese embassy also showcased photos on Vietnam's liberation and construction courses and introduced the nation's culture, cuisine, and tourism. This year, the festival attracted nearly 20,000 visitors. The first batch of 6 containers of Vietnamese durian from the Central Highlands province of Đắk Lắk that have passed stringent safety guidelines began its journey to China on September 17.
Five producers sent 100 tons of the fruit in total for the first shipment. The shipment comes following the signing of the protocol between the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam and the General Administration of Customs of China over 2 months ago. Migrants from 23 China-approved growing areas are also on the way to a court-granted facility in Đắk Lắk to be sorted and packaged for delivery to China. Transportation requirements include using cartons with air holes for ventilation and quality control. Qualified durians need to weigh 3 kilos each and meet stringent safety standards. They are required to have traceability stamps as well. which will be presented in English or Chinese and show the name as a packaging facility. Đắk Lắk is the country's second largest durian-growing locality with 15,000 hectares, behind the Mekong Delta province of Tiền Giang.
The U.S. continued application of anti-dumping duties on Vietnamese pangasius and basa fish is simply an annual announcement. Exports to the market are still taking place as usual and have even recorded good growth this year.
The remark was made by the Trade Remedy Authority of Vietnam at the Ministry of Industry and Trade. According to the authority, the U.S. has applied anti-dumping duties on the fish since 2003. Major Vietnamese pangasius and basa businesses have been able to maintain a rate of $0 per kilo through reviews to continue exporting. The Ministry of Industry and Trade will continue coordinating with the Vietnam Associations of Seafood Exporters and Producers, as well as Vietnamese exporters and the U.S. side, to monitor the latest information and address relevant issues to ensure Vietnam's legitimate rights and interests.
A master plan on national water resources inventory for the 2021 to 2025 period has been approved. This is the first time Vietnam has developed such a plan.
The plan aims to publicize the water resource inventory targets in inter-provincial river basins and on the national scale. It sets specific targets to obtain the first inventories indicators of water resources, water exploitation, and use and discharge of wastewater into water sources. The master plan is set to develop contents, estimates, and detailed plans to carry out an inventories of water resources on the national scale, ensuring feasibilities, efficiencies, and synchronous implementation. Solutions to overcome low water level in Red River in the northern, drought, flood in the central region, and salinizations in the Mekong Delta with environment protection are also important contents of the plan.
The Hoàng Su Phi Terrace-Field Heritage Week has returned to the mountainous province of Hà Giang after being postponed for 2 seasons due to COVID-19, with a wide range of attractive destinations now on offer.
According to organizers, the event will take place until the end of this month and feature many interesting activities, such as a Hmong ethnic minority cultural festival and paragliding over the terrace rice fields. Also included are sports activities and tours to local cultural and ecological sites throughout the district. The terrace fields in Hoàng Su Phi cover more than 3,700 hectares in 24 communes and towns. They were formed hundreds of years ago by the La Chi, Dao, and Nung ethnic minority communities. September is the best time to visit Hoàng Su Phi as its terrace rice fields greatly grow during the harvest season.
The southern province of Long An recently kicked off its first Cultural and Tourism Week in the 30th Tân An to honor its cultural and historical heritage and promote its tourism potential.
The week is an opportunity to introduce typical products and promote tourism and images of the land and people of Long An among visitors. Participants will have the chance to enjoy Đơn Ca Tài Tử Nam Bộ, a kind of southern amateur music recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2015, as well as historical sites, natural landscapes, special local dishes, and entertainment. The province will strengthen investment promotion and utilize its tourism potential, build an image of a hospitable, civilized people, and expand various cultural exchange activities to boost its image among domestic and international visitors. The Long An Cultures and Tourism Week 2022, with the theme Tourism in Long An, Safe, Friendly, and Attractive, features 13 activities and will run until September 21st.